Okay, so do I have a motion to exit executive session? Okay. And a second? Second. Any discussion? Discussion? Any discussion? And all in favor of exiting executive session? All right, we're not going to take any action on those items that we discussed in executive session. So, yeah. Yep, we're going to go ahead and move into the work session. The first item on the work session agenda is the potential land sale discussion. This would be for 19 Anderson Drive. So if any of you are unaware, it's right where 93 and 178 cross. We own the little kind of strip against the church there between the Mexican restaurant and the church. We own that little area in between there. We have been approached by someone with interest in purchasing that property. This is a very beginning conversation around this to see if you all are even interested in selling the property. If you are interested in selling the property as a city, we will go ahead and get all of the next pieces, cost, everything like that.
Has this individual stated what they were gonna use the property for?
Parking.
It's currently just grass there.
It is. Yep.
Typically, if you do move forward, I suggest you get the land appraised.
We just wanted to make sure council was even interested in selling it. And then we'll move it to appraisals and costs. That's not.
Was there anything we could ever use it for? Or I mean, or other than parking? I mean, that's just about it. What's the size of that?
It's like 20 acres. It's pretty small.
632 square feet.
There you go.
Oh,
632 square feet. That's just a change.
This is for the voting?
8-9.
Yes, that's possible. So she's wanting to purchase this property parking.
Correct.
It might run through the planning commission.
Yeah.
In terms of, see, I don't know what it's in, off the top of my head, so whether the,
Because I think.
how much buffer you need.
That's who that is for.
That might be. Yeah, so
They
that's.
can't use that as.
Churches are.
So just trying to bring this to you all to see if it's something of interest. If it is, we'll go ahead and move forward with an appraisal and look at, then we'll bring it to you, obviously, once we have all the specifics. It would have to be executive session, sale of land. But didn't want to even start the conversation really if you all were not interested.
Well, we did the odd man out, I guess, and answer Dylan's question, because I'm going to. A few weeks ago, we were sitting here talking about the poor commercial district parking, reserve parking spots. We were told that we got the parking spots. We were talking about, could we utilize that in a lot around my car wash? You know, do we need a long-term plan before we start deciding to get rid of something? If we're really, I don't say we need parking, I don't say we need parking. I'm just saying, we were talking about this 3 weeks ago or 2 months ago, that the downtown was out of parking spaces, and we were talking about the lot that we sold or whatever. I don't know how that got paved. I think me, you and John had a list today. Do we create look at a long-term strategic master plan, see if this even is part of it or not part of it?
This was kind of I don't call it a lost leader to us. It really wasn't useful for us because we would have had to create a way to get across to it. Yeah, and it's really a very busy intersection. It didn't make a whole lot of sense for us to use it for parking.
But I was throwing it out, because we were talking just a couple of weeks ago with Sue about parking spots for business owners and things like that, and there's issues with that.
Yeah.
And if we start, if we're gonna need it in the future, do we get rid of it in the present?
This one for us didn't seem to be a very useful additional parking space.
How many spaces?
8 to 9.
Let me ask you this. What if you figure out how much they're willing to
buy that piece of land, like we get the price. And then sell that, use that money, and see if we can turn around and buy that parking lot that's in between the old bank right there, was right behind all the business. Because that's more parking. We already took care of it at one time. And that would give us some more parking, and we're really not, we're not fitting that money, we're just walking, and now we actually have actual parking.
Yeah,
Which part on this?
It's right there between the car wash and then the old bank, which is now the hibachi restaurant.
I think that's owned by Stefano.
Stefano.
But I was trying to, we repaved it and nothing, it's not somehow, it got given us
So you're saying we could sell that?
that.
That piece and turn around and buy that piece back?
Absolutely, yeah. To get parking, because that's a bigger lot and it's more useful, closer to be used. You can have your business on the park, their employees and stuff, and not take Main Street away. Sorry, park.
There's access from this tall alleyway, right?
Yeah, we did talk
From
about.
behind the building.
Pretty sure it's right outside. This one I guess.
That lot on down towards the corner, is that right away?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, probably.
So let me ask you this here. I want to go with the idea. We see here, I think you can go on that. We talked about parking downtown Grover. We talked about the need for parking spots. Could we even talk to her about, I'm just throwing ideas out right now, say, hey, you know, we don't really know what we think. We're not talking multi-million-dollar deal, right? We're talking a few $1,000s. Could we work out a deal where it's used for paving and get it ready to go, it's used for public/private needs when possible. I was throwing ideas. John's laughing at me. So I keep going back to
What
that.
was the deal with the parking lot? It's a whole high dignity dog, possibility of putting a crosswalk right there for using that to park.
That behind the.
Right
It's
there
Dick
across.
Street,
Yeah.
yeah,
Well,
that's what you're talking about. We use it for parking.
Yeah, since we use it for parking.
Did she not use that for?
Well, you still sending people across.
So
the
we would
street.
have to have a cross.
Yeah, that's where she's.
Yeah, I thought-
Which would be closer to the railroad track. And
What we're gonna do is.
We talked about it. She has to turn on the right. No, she doesn't. There's nothing of it. It's federal. That's not something.
She parking. She spent the money.
what?
Parking spots in front of the fence.
It's always there.
So she don't get able to show it, no, sir.
It's only big enough for so many cars. If you sell it, 9 cars. it will fill it. So if she buy it for. Back then,
What do we care?
That's, yeah.
where I am. If somebody wants to buy it and we're not gonna use it, I'm not interested in paying it. If they want to give us cash for it, somebody does, I don't care who it is, if somebody wants to give us cash, we're not gonna use it. And it's in a zoned area, it's their responsibility for the setbacks, not us. It's their responsibility for the usage, it's not us. If they pave it, they have to deal with stormwater runoff, not us.
Our staff doesn't have to cut the grass anymore.
Yeah, because right now I'm cutting that.
Yeah, but they enjoy cutting grass.
And
Oh, you
I mean, it's only, we're only talking about 10 minutes every week, but still, it's 10 minutes they can spend.
Yes,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I'm sorry. Sorry.
I'm not selling it, I'm just saying. Would there be anything that the city would want to put on that property later on down the road?
It's not big enough to do anything.
6 large, 6 square feet.
It's gonna be kind of smaller.
I would try to sell it, take the money.
Like, the building.
Buy a little more out.
What goes to the building.
They're usually big, so they don't go field and say seven.
It's a small cost.
That wasn't good, so
And if she's able to get her business up and running, well, that's revenue for the city, it's good.
And then there was a accessory shop. That's like money with the traffic study. It's not something trying to get us 6 months.
You gotta have an engineer.
Yeah, it's a process.
Freeze.
Yeah, I think so. We good with getting raised? Okay.
Gerald, are you gonna get us a price?
I was talking myself, I just give you one around the table the other night there. I figured I'd have a conversation with you, you believe to spend money.
Yeah. We'll have to bring it to you guys when we decide to actually get it done. I just needed to make sure we were good to move forward. All right, next up, is the 26-27 fiscal year operating budget. You all, I know have questions, so go ahead and jump in with your questions, anything that you wanted to discuss. I know there was, a couple questions at the last work session as well as the first reading. And we've had quite a few emails back and forth, lots of questions answered. And I'll go ahead and start with a couple things that we had actually adjusted that'll be in the second reading to the budget. And this is from myself and our deputy administrator. The first thing that we are going to adjust in the budget is we wanted to add in PPE or safety budget for each of the departments. After going to the CPR safety classes, we did an assessment citywide to see how stocked we were of safety equipment, AEDs, and definitely had some holes in that. So we would like to add into the budget, a safety budget for PPE, so replacement pads for the AEDs as well as gloves, first aid equipment. We had to put an eye wash station at the public works shed, that's something they did not have. So these are things that need to be built into our budget. We also recently added or formed a safety committee of various members, don't laugh at me, of various members of the city staff. This is part of what they are seeing. They did the assessment to see where we were at on safety equipment and found us to be very short on those things. So it's something we need to add into the budget to make sure we're keeping our staff members safe and that we have the proper equipment.
Can we add a calls list and proper legal sites for work zones?
That would come from,
Are we still using men working zones? Because those are, you're not supposed to use men working, it's gotta be work ahead, workers ahead.
It's not political.
What's it called?
Yeah, it looks, because you have females that work on crews now. We've had to do away with all our signs, OSHA standards. Yes, sir. Mary, you want to add in on that?
Well, I think it's good to identify workers that way, yes. I'm just laughing because when I was a lot younger, I whistled out a window at a worker. When the worker turned around, it was not a man, so that was really. So I think that's. Don't ask what struck me, because it's not something I regularly.
Well, they changed those. And they got this certain amount that they can't be the short signs.
oh, the more you know. Budget, it would be 1,200 for each department. 1,200 for reference, for AED, the pads that go on the AED machine, those need to be replaced every 3 years. And they don't have. So building that into first aid equipment.
We really have a choice, so it's the same.
Right, that's right.
We contract Centos to take care of the AEDs.
They are, yeah.
Okay.
Yep, yep,
Centos. They do that?
Yep,
they sure do.
they sure do.
We're not paying for it.
Never stop for me.
We,
What was the question?
he said, are we paying them already?
So what we purchased the AED for City Hall and for the shed. So we purchased that with this budget. But maintenance upkeep, the contract through Cintas wouldn't go in place until it was approved for this 26-27 budget.
Correct. I'm confused. So we don't pay Cintas today.
So we purchased them outright. Yeah.
Just in.
We spoke with Frank, he's our representative. We spoke with Frank, he said it could be, what it was, it started at 11 and it could go to 44. It was, no, flat, just $44
So we,
monthly, it's a monthly.
yeah, no, we just did weekly. So,
Okay,
I don't know.
I didn't ask too many,
Services.
I didn't ask too many questions because we didn't get it approved yet.
But then you pay for the individual replenishments.
It would be included. Other things too, off the top of my head, but
$44.
it was for COVID, just in conversation with Frank.
So $44
all safety stuff.
per hour. So $44 times 12 gives us for a year, right? That's not $1,200.
Correct, but there's other things that we need to buy, but again, this would be the first budget that we would have this implemented.
Or number, look at the list and I sent in. There's many times that it says budgeting high, budgeting high, budgeting high. That's citizens' money that we need to be more cognizant of what we're doing and more respectful of their money. And we need to budget. And if you need more money at the end and something else happens, we need to go there. But I don't think it's a good practice for us to just continue to lowball revenue, increase expenses just because it's gonna make us all happy. Get to the end of the year. And that's good.
But
So I don't see that as a good thing, overall on the budget. So
for this, it's a completely new item. That's why we're listing it as 1,200. We'll hope to not spend that. But again, like you said, this is a completely new line item. If you'd be more comfortable at 1,000, that's fine. We can talk about the number, but it's a new item. We don't have anything to go off.
no.
Working that out, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying, I'll round it up. I mean,
506, yeah.
Sure. And then again, next year,
It's the
right,
next year.
then we get our actuals.
Right,
Yeah.
you got an actual, that's the thing, like, you really want to profit and loss, and you want to know what, something costs me this amount, and that's what I'm gonna go off of.
Did you have something?
I think going a little higher is better, because some departments are going to need more when it comes to the safety.
Yep.
Like, all my staff is going to need all new PPE bags, which are all going to fall under that safety guide. Now,
We're paying for.
they have what they have, what's issued,
Severely.
but as far as new,
It was-
just like our AEDs, the patent expires in 2022,
Yeah,
and all the buildings.
yeah.
Now,
It's
they
not-
should
yeah.
still work, but this entire city has not done a CPR training in 7 years.
Yeah.
So if the AED pads are out today, tomorrow, somebody should be putting in a requisition for new AED. It is very similar. As I said,
When I was made aware that those pads were expired,
Yeah.
while I was in the CPR class, I emailed Frank and said, hey, can you come by today? We need to order pads.
that's
So
a
we
great.
ordered- We ordered updated pads for adults and peds as well as batteries, because the batteries were dying too. But I mean, it's a good thing that we never used it, but in the odd case that we would need to, they were expired.
Yeah, when I first started, everybody was completely dead. I checked the Airbnb, but I didn't think that you could check the pads.
What's the line?
Routine check, yeah.
She already did.
Yeah.
I'll play devil's advocate on the money amount though. Costs just continue to go up. So if you had to use the equipment, say it was just the officer's PPE packs for a bad accident or something, you may need more money by the end of the year to pay for increased costs if those items go up. And then it's very difficult to determine how many times you would need to replace things.
Yes, correct.
The problem, Mary, is that this is a one-time item. There are multiple line items with very large variations. And to me, that was what I was trying to.
See, but it's the items, the $1,200 is not just limited to the AEDs. It's for all safety.
Yes,
It's for PPE.
yes.
Right, so
Well,
that's something
We
you,
use all kinds of stuff.
Yeah,
Maybe
we're not
around.
paying for that today. We have something. We have to be paying for it we can't believe we're reusing the same gloves.
First aid kit at City Hall is ridiculous.
It was, when we had, the inmates do work, I don't even know how long ago that was. Prior to have a first aid kit for them, everything in our first aid kit, because that was carried on over to City Hall, everything in our first aid kit was expired.
Yep.
So last year, Bailey Lock went on Amazon and just ordered some bandages and some, alcohol wipes and, the first aid kit system.
We have funds. Yes.
The cost for got all that extra stuff, the gloves and all that.
They do, they can, yeah.
So would that be in 44 hours?
I don't have enough knowledge to speak on that because we wanted to bring it to you guys before, there's 3 of the 4 safety committee people are here today. So coming and talking to you guys, getting your input, we can set up another meeting with Frank and we can ask him if we wanted XYZ, how much would it be?
To get some solid numbers before next Monday's meeting.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
You know, well, energy actually getting more version.
All right, next item that we would like to, I know there were some questions around the EPA and the Brownsfield budget about expenses. Those are all for the phase assessments and for our consultants, which is Terrafund. I know there were some questions from a couple of you on where that money was being spent.
And that's straight from the grant. That's from taxpayers.
Right. We also, and it's kind of a side thing, but I know Councilwoman Cantley has been working on getting access to the mill behind the parking lot that we own, where we'd like to put new city hall at. And I know she's had some positive feedback from that, so hopefully they'll be able to get looped into the assessments and move forward with that, which would be really amazing for both the owner and the city. So, thank you for doing that. The next item that we wanted to discuss was we have had department heads request a line for promotional materials, approximately 1,500 to 2,000. This can definitely be negotiated, obviously. This would be a new item, so we're budgeting high, not expecting to spend it all. This would be for admin, police, and rec. And then Katie, can you jump in with more info on that?
So when I started 3 years ago, we placed a very large order on promotional items and we still have some of them, but we are running really low. We maybe have 10 city blue pens left, a couple birdie, squish, stress balls, and a few of the little stuffed animals, but that's the extent of our promotional items. So when we have events, we don't have anything to give away. You go to Easily, I know they're bigger than us, but you go to Easily, every single department has promotional items, every department has a table set up at events. We have the bare minimum, and we need to update that.
So you asked them, have like a or like an advertising fund for each department that have, say, it's gonna be five.
So that is, you got a environmental grants out there, your waste oil, your waste tire, your white goods grants and all, they actually give promotional money to municipalities. Yes, it's simple, right? I used to do something that's easy, but you probably could just by writing around the promotional lines, you'd have to, tag in your waste oil, something about the environment, wherever you put the city of Liberty stuff and things like that. Honestly, I would look into some of those things. And if we move forward, hey, and have some extra cash and money and budget, we can move around if we don't get there.
So maybe,
I prefer to look at the grant opportunities, and I can actually show you the site to get to with that. There's $5,000 per grant available. So you got 3 out there through and that's not big invoice, but anyways, there's a level that you need to qualify for.
so maybe we lowball this then a little bit and then work on getting some of the grants.
If it was me, this is just me, from my personal standpoint, I would actually shoot for the grant funding as my source. And who knows, we might find some money in next year's budget to move around. So we got some overinflated numbers, John. I'm just throwing ideas out. I would prefer to go the cheapest route because, right now, we're talking about adding things. We've got a budget that's 84.4 million. We've seen 10.8%, growth in things. Our cost overall on all funds is up about 4%. Average senior citizens only seen the 2.8% increase in value. So we start adding the number to this budget. We're at 4%, they're at 2.8%. We're growing faster than our senior citizens. Budgets are growing. So we need to kind of find ways to offset those costs as much as possible. Some of those offsets can come through grants and things like that. Now, I'm not saying that it's not guaranteed you get it, but I think that's the first place you look. How do you keep people in your tax and your citizens' pockets first? Just my opinion, but it's the group's decision.
Maybe even lower than, I'd like to give us at least something to start with, just because we don't have anything for promotional materials right now. Maybe even like 250.
I would challenge you to look at some of those accounts that you've overestimated, you said, and find too much. I wouldn't be opposed, I think, like John, I think I'd help John feel better too. Some of the, let's just say we had $1,200 a week, but we only need 30,000 this year. That's 250 right now. But rather than adding numbers to the budget on the second read, let's try to find ways to tighten our bills. We're asking our citizens, we're telling the citizens, I know you only got 2.8%, I'm gonna be 4% in the city, because we want to grow a little faster. Let's try to tighten our bill inside first. For me, but that's not my decision, it's a group decision.
Personally, I think it's funny, the things that I think are probably a good idea versus not, but this is a good idea because you have kids and stuff, and you want to encourage them to be downtown and be part of the rec department, learn the public works, or even the police department. So that's right. So, I mean, I can just tell you, I took my grandson over there, so I mean, it was a cool experience, and I think more people should probably go do those kinds of things. And when you have those little trinkets and things like that, makes them feel a little bit better about being there. So
I agree with that. It's great. I just don't think we can burden the taxpayers with the cost at this point in time.
if there's grant money, I mean, if you can write a date and grant,
I'd be glad to do it for you.
so you should.
That's actually something Katie and I have been talking about. I know you were looking for something to do to help out, so he said he needed something to do to help out, so we've been looking at some ideas, that's actually one of them.
And as far as promotional items go, the goal would be to have it just come out of hospitality. But that would be down the road, unfortunately not with this budget, but eventually it would just be it would be a hospitality thing. It would be tourism.
So are we thinking, do we want to put anything in there? Do we want to look for grants first? I think we need to have something in there, even if it's low, just to give us something to start with, because we have literally no promotional materials at the moment. Idea?
Well, I was looking at the promotional items because they pretty much gave my last couple of leaders and somebody was like, somebody in this grant department, and I had to search for those. And even the silicone bracelets, as many as you need when you have you know, the trick or treat, that's,
Yes.
we get bracelets out, bags out, kids are with their, you know, their plastic shopping bags for their candy. And we used to purchase them in a large quantity years ago. We haven't purchased them for probably 4 years. And so we're starting to clean them down. But even 1,000 of those silicone bracelets are like $600, $450. Those are just for the bracelets.
Right.
Can I throw one more idea at you, just the thought process? Government, county government budget. We budget for 100% utilization. The average government comes in at 93 to 96%. You got a 3 to 5% carry forward, and we know that we can move money around in the house. You know, for our first certain items we want. You're talking about non-perishable items. Is there $600 in the chief's budget today for those items that we could buy before July the 31st to keep them taxed next year for residents of already approved? You get what I'm saying? We found $50,000 last week to buy a truck.
It goes back to the other question, if we need actuals.
And
We do, yes.
But there should be, if we run our budget anywhere close to the way we should have done it, you finish this year out, you'll see an actual 3 to 5%.
Right.
Left over, because chief doesn't have 100% occupancy in his staffing
Right.
all year long. You know, he's got a $600,000 staffing budget. You probably got a $50,000 carry forward. It's going to be laying there. It's not going to be utilized. They could be used in the police fund today. And so I just don't want to add any more costs to next year's budget if we don't have to. If we can buy it today, it's not perishable. Find it in the house. I'd say we go that route. If we need some reg stuff, anything we can do today to keep from going tomorrow and taxing somebody for, I prefer to go that direction.
Do we not want to add the line item? Is that what I'm hearing? I want to just go to grants and then at the end of each calendar year, try to.
Unless you're gonna add like a line on it from the advertising only. And then we start setting, but I would wait till next year and you said like, hey, we're gonna have this amount set for advertisement. So I think it's a small cost.
So for this year, we're not going to add it,
I would,
but we would for the next budget.
that's up to y'all, but I'm
Now,
not,
this year, we're going to really
I
attack.
think we receive grants.
Yeah, I think we need to search the grants.
I think we should take some.
We just start right before the end of the year, get the grant.
Well, the grants.
Right.
I say we just cross the grants out, and once we know that there's no more money, we can get grants, then we can say, okay, we're gonna have a salary.
The cool thing is if you can find the money to buy it now before the end of the fiscal year, you got a stockpile to get you through the grant,
Yeah.
which gets you through the next year, which in turn gets you kind of apply for.
Once,
the year to go.
once we have actuals, hopefully we do have some in there. Next item, so on the last version of the budget that you all got, we had Parks and Rec maintenance facilities at 0, I believe. We went back and discussed that with the department head and decided that that should probably be at 5,000. Their budget this year was very high, so they were able to complete a lot of the larger projects. But having a $0 amount there really stuck out and should definitely have a line item there in case we do need to do any sort of facilities maintenance.
Can I ask a revenue department question? I don't know the answer. Scott Chesney, I think Chesney, they do a lot of y'all's work. He had mentioned that this is going to be a monthly act on being fixed since then. He said the downtown gym has 2 units on top of it, I think. He was saying something about one of the units wasn't working and the secondary unit was having to do everything, which he said would cause you problems later on. I think we're going to talk about this in time in January. So, have we fixed that yet? If not, should we? Yeah, I just thought, I don't know that topic. Scott mentioned that to me.
That's great stuff. I meant to get started, said that 2 years ago, we should have said something about it. But when he fixed it, he took the parts off one, put it on one another. So, and he said it's only fine, but eventually he said he's going to get a new unit. So each unit up to cost you about 60 grand. That's how much to do with stock at Middle Valley, $60,000 for 2 grand, for 2 units.
Y'all just replaced those, correct?
And middle, yeah.
So we got some units not working then?
I mean, we got the unit work fine. It's cold and it does its job.
But the second unit's not working.
Yeah, when he took the parts off, one unit, put on another unit.
He was saying something about the sizing of that unit's not spec for the size of the, I don't know, even this, I don't know.
Yeah.
He just mentioned that to me, so I didn't know if we need
That's
to.
just, it's just weird. wait down to bring it up, because he could have said something to me about it.
I don't have to clue that to something. I think I mentioned to you a few months ago.
Katie, can you get with Scott tomorrow and get an update on what's going on with that? So we can just, I don't want it to hit us in the middle of the summer.
Stuff like that, because he could have said something to me.
Well, I don't give respect, Coach. I don't give respect, Coach. Coach, I do respect. I'm not saying anything to upset you.
I know, I'm saying.
But now, when items come to us, you gotta understand, we're gonna bring them before this body. We are the legislative branch, it's responsible for the capital cost associated with these buildings, and we will bring them up. I'm not trying to upset you. That's something you need to take into account.
You could have talked to me more about it, give me some leadership.
You agree with that, too?
I'm gonna have Katie talk to Scott tomorrow. We'll get a.
You understand why I think cost is.
Correct.
I just have one question. How do you pay for the, for a grant?
Goes on HVAC.
When they had the process when I first started, I think it came through, I think it was one of that grant we did the pool system. I'm not sure.
Maybe we find some grant, but I mean, yeah, we should probably budget a little bit extra just to be on the safe side.
Long term, you gotta start thinking about all of our buildings. For me, you know, we've got to actually, we need to have the capitalization cost.
Let's not get facilities, you gotta think about playground, just.
Yeah. Roads.
And we got doors that he showed me that is running through. So I mean, yeah, you need to be budgeting for all units and all buildings in general.
So
I'm good with that.
are we good with 5,000 then in that line item instead of 0?
Where would we get to 5,000? I'm asking,
We would have to move some stuff around in budget.
if it requires to raise the military. I'm just asking.
No, the millage, we're not raising that.
We can't.
Okay, that was the question, I guess.
Next up was, yeah, go ahead.
When you're just gonna move things around, can you tell us what you,
Yeah, oh yeah, it'll be for the second
we're not
meeting.
going like it.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you.
We'll get with the department head and then we'll see where we need to make adjustments. That's his budget.
We're waiting on Green City to get back on us.
Yes.
To us, but, we're hoping to have a meeting with them on Thursday. And we want them to update the budget in real time with us, so we're hoping to have it to you by end of day Thursday, if not Friday morning. Hopefully,
We're waiting on those.
I reached out to them on the 12th of this month for an updated version 7 with actuals in that middle column, and I didn't have it. I wanted to have it for you guys, but
You okay?
It's kind of.
So
A while back, we had the hurricane and all that took out everybody's power, because I had hot water. And we were talking about doing a center for people to come and be able to take showers and have hot water. And we had that boiler machine in the basement down there. We decided that boiler machine was just too far gone, really.
Yes, sir.
Is there a way that we could replace that boiler machine with hot water heaters?
I talked to, Mr. Jewel. He said that you can't put a hot water heat in there. You just, gotta figure out a good location to put it in, because we don't have, to be able to put it in, the water source to it, to be able to get to.
So you'd have to have the plumbing from the shower rooms. Is what you're saying? You'd have.
Not necessarily, you said you got to get it connected to. Then now to the shower here. So you gotta find out where, what pipe or location we can put it to sustain it. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
I'm just trying to
It is
get
a
that.
possibility for the future, just be.
That's what I was trying to.
oh yeah, it's possible. Not did find out that, Phil's Avenue does have one.
Right, we talked about that, in some emergency preparations when the
Right.
ice storm,
Right.
yes. That
I didn't know
it's
that.
just off the main street, and it's like that hill to come into it, so we want people to slip and slide on their way to the gym.
Right. I was just thinking something that we're gonna budget for the bottom out of man. If that would be something we would.
I don't even know what that costs. If we need a grant for that? Emergency, yeah, that's,
Because we would need that back.
yeah.
We couldn't give that level of
30.
Yeah.
And it was really, it was a bad situation.
We're trying to figure out a way to improve it.
Yeah.
Which is county, I'm just, I don't know, is your county direct fund, some other rec position, I don't want to use on boards.
They've really kind of cleaned down what you can use rec funding for now. When I first got on the board, they allowed you to use it for just kind of assortment of things. But the last year that I was on it, they didn't even want to go so far as to provide money for security cameras on a rec field. Yeah, so it's come way down to what they'll let you spend it on. Yeah, definitely not.
Thank you.
So we're gonna go ahead and start with 5,000 on that. Is that pretty good with that? Okay. Next up is H-Tax. We're going to rename the community development project line item to community development projects and partnerships. We will get rid of the concerts on Commerce line and add 2,500 to the 12,000 in the community development projects. We're basically merging those two together into a single title.
Okay, say that again.
That's okay. We're gonna rename community development project to community development projects and partnerships. Moving concerts and commerce line into, that's 2,500 for the concerts and commerce line, into the community development projects and partnerships. So that would be a total for those two funds together, $14,500.
The partnership makes sense.
It does, it actually does. Yeah, because we've had a lot of downtown businesses reach out to the city directly, scheduling meetings and wanting to host events with us in a partnership, and it just makes sense to rename that, to combine those two deals together. Everybody good on that one? We're on the phone. New Year's Eve, we had some ideas on how we wanted to do this. I know you all have seen it, as the 150th end of the year celebration. We had talked loosely about, making a beginning segment of the New Year's Eve, family friendly, and then an evening, segment of it more adult focused. We had talked about getting with the churches and, getting them to help with the family-friendly side of the New Year's Eve bash, and then obviously, the big closeout to our 150th year. So I know a few of you have asked for some information on that. I had a couple questions about why we're not marketing it yet, but it's not approved in the budget yet. We can't start marketing it until it's approved. So as soon as it's approved, we can go ahead and start putting everything together, marketing, promotional, booking the main event, all of that can be done.
So I would like to propose, and will propose again at the meeting, that we eliminate this event for New Year's Eve, because New Year's Eve is it would be competing against other communities that are already established in what their events are. And this, now you're talking about an all-day event, sounds like it's gonna be family friendly, and then
We were looking at
one for the
5 to midnight. I think we were
all
looking at.
the deadlines.
So it'd be late afternoon to evening.
Yeah, it's quite a long time. And for that one day for $75,000, I think that's an extraordinary amount of money for that one afternoon. And I think that, again, we're going to compete against other areas, other communities in the area that are already well established for that event. And I would propose that we utilize that in a different manner. I also don't like the idea of taking $50,000 out of the general fund to try and pay for this event. So
It's not general, but it's hospitality. It would be hospitality.
Probably fund balance.
Yeah.
And that's the hospitality school.
Yeah.
I want to say, I wouldn't want this every year.
No, it would not be. This is specifically for our 150th. And the real argument here is that the previous administration did not budget for the 150th. There was kind of a very loose attitude about it. Well, if we win, then we'll plan it. Then if we don't win, then it's somebody else's responsibility. So we're kind of working on the back end of not having any funds budgeted for this. And we've had to kind of collect and, bring in sponsorships and things like that to do events. 150th year is a huge deal for Liberty.
I agree with that, but I'm kind of with him about doing it on that day. Why can't we have our own day?
I mean, to kind of, play devil advocate a little bit, I mean, most municipalities do something for New Year's Eve.
Oh, yeah.
Most municipalities do something for July 4th. So for us to do a New Year's Eve event on our 150th big year to close out the year, it would be really nice for us to be able to do something.
So what is the plan, what are we planning on having this costing $75,000?
So a lot of that would be marketing, promotional stuff. And then we have, I'm allowed to say it, we're looking at a drone show for the big 150th at midnight. And it's something that no one else in the upstate does.
A drone show, what exactly is that?
It's like fireworks, but they're drones instead.
Tennessee not doing drone shows and they're levels, so no one to go check it out. That'd be a free way to see what it looks like.
Improved. Sky,
What, all right, so we need $75,000.
Yeah,
That's for everything.
it's for everything. That's correct.
Where are we getting the money from?
Hospitality.
Why was it in our cheat notes that we're taking $50,000 from the fund balance to do this?
Hospitality.
It's not the general fund balance.
Is it a little over 300,000?
Yeah, there's a little over 300,000
Keep in mind, this
specific.
is a big first.
$80,000.
We're kind
Yeah.
of tag on what we're saying from the stand, we're going to be all our hospitality fund back for us. Or want some odd percentage. We're 6 months into this new administration. And one of the things the hospitality funds for me is designed to do is this was designed to give residents, tourism factors, things of that nature. And I do think that this would bring some people in on New Year's Eve. But long term, I think we got to be cautious with our fund balance stuff for several reasons. First off, I spoke to several downtown businesses last week. Just went out and walked in and talked to those guys. That's, I actually solicited opinions on what would benefit you the most. I will go back to some of these pictures. We've got waterfalls, hidden sections, woods, we've got, potential of, I know the over in part bogs might not being developed. And with this money, long term, be a better benefit if we may have first off this, we talked about this. Corporate coming together and sitting there long term and discussing the council's goals and needs and wishes. And when we do that, the vision assess the money. And right now, we really didn't set a vision. We talked individually a lot about what we want to see happening. But we hadn't talked as a group, what is the vision of the city? What is our strategic plan today? What's our comprehensive plan? Part of the comprehensive plan is to talk about trails, tying into our existing features. We're spending $75,000 on 193. Let's say we bring in 100 people. At midnight, our downtown restaurants are closed, or most of our businesses, with the exception of bars, are closed. Yeah, yes, some of those people may come back, but long term, we made an impact that really benefits the businesses we're trying to build forward and bring people in. For me, I don't feel good about drawing our fund balance down for this. At the end of the year, our birthday was back in March. We got our 4th of July, we should have promoting that. Most people they're celebrating anniversaries on big events that you already do. We know what we do great. Because we want to try to do something, but we don't know what to do. So I just can't support it on down part of this picture, just because I'd rather see us come together as a body. Before we look at something long term to bring people over to it, versus a one time sheet.
So are we not getting any sponsorships off of this?
We have not yet, because it hasn't been approved, no spending for the event is approved at this point.
So you're not allowed to even go out and get sponsorships to it?
Not yet. We can't go get sponsorships for events. We don't know if it's approved or not. But once it is, then we can go out, get sponsorships. We can get vendors to sign up.
I understand, but I guess my point is, why are we talking about a continuing run and talking about the February? So we could have had sponsorship by now, because now, and it's gonna be hard to maybe find some sponsorship. If we had majority of it sponsorship money, and then we maybe paying 25,000 like we do, which a lot, that might be okay, I think about talking forward that. $75,000 for one night, that's a lot of money. It's a lot of money for something that I don't know if that's gonna bring in all that money. I'd rather spend the money on Christmas parade that brings lots of people to our town, and everyone knows they can afford that. Versus spending that much money. I mean, again, if it was less money, I'm all for it. If that's a lot of money, then we're not even getting any sponsorship to pay for it. We're paying for it all out of our pocket.
What would be a good dollar?
It would have to be matching the 4th of July. Yeah.
40,000?
I thought it was 25.
No, 4th of July gets split between 2 years. So it's what, we did 15 and then 25, I think, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it was,
40,000. So we could do the same thing for around 40,000, but you're gonna come in at a lot less drones for the end of the year, or for the, the big 1159 drop ball, that stuff. So we could do it for 40, but 75 would be a bigger end of the year bash.
Let me ask you a serious question. Has anyone done any research around this to know exactly what you're going, what is going to actually bring into the city as far as any kind of money or where you're going to, are you getting any money for parking? Are you getting any money from downtown or like, is there any anticipated fund that we're going to get back for spending that much? You could tell me, hey, we're going to spend 75, but we're going to get 100,000. It's a no-brainer, let's do it.
You have to charge for parking.
Do you have any of the numbers yet?
I think you
Off
have
the
to.
best?
Still trying to figure out how the drones have a artwork. I mean, I don't get it.
Wrong.
How many does
They
that
go
have?
up 300 songs one time.
3 times?
They go up, they last 15 minutes. You're getting a 30-minute show, over 300 drones. And they make,
30 minutes.
You need to go on YouTube and look at what time here.
yeah, Sky Element, pull up Sky Element.
Let's wait till you.
Drone show.
No fireworks.
You can get between 300 and 1,000. That's a free
How much are they spending?
in one show.
I did not know.
Some drone shows, by their sales are 65 to 70,000. That's not marketing, that's not promoting, that's
You have the numbers.
strictly drone.
And it was what? How much?
365, 75,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, just for the drone.
Just for drone shows.
Right. Yeah.
We're not paying for that. I'm saying that some of the shows can cost.
I don't like them, you want to sponsor like 4th of July, so they.
Yeah, but you know it's not there. You said you don't know what we're paying.
No, I'm just saying, there's some of their big shows can cost a little bit. If you look at, so you look at like a seven.
Okay, so for that one, Sierra, you're gonna provide some information on what we gain from our festivals that we put on, to council tomorrow. And then we'll come back to that next week. Next up, we had a discussion in the office about moving our H-tax fund balance, which we're already discussing, over to an LGIP to earn interest. I know the LGIP is something that is new to some of us. That is the government-backed, term government-backed.
Investment.
Thank you. To earn interest. And as you mentioned, Gerald, we currently have about $300,000 in there. So if we were to move that H-tax fund balance over to the LGIP in the next year, we could earn some decent interest, which could go back into events and things that we want to spend it for.
I saw 3.5%. I thought we were proud it was gonna be 3.9, it come down.
It's, yeah.
Green things that it fluctuates.
And remember that fund, you can withdraw in 3 days as needed. So if we did need to pull out anything from our H-tax fund balance, we could do that in 3 days. It's not like it's leave it or can't come back to it. Yeah, exactly. Okay.
We actually put that in the budget, no?
We didn't, yeah.
We did.
The revenue would eventually go in there, but we have not put it in there yet.
Okay. That's what you're talking about.
Yeah, these are
It's
for
really-
concession things.
That's really-
For the second meeting.
That is-
I'll look at it.
They got something.
Is it also, it's about fires? They don't start fires either.
All right, two more things. I'll let you go in a minute. I promise. I got two more things. Trash rate. I know a couple of you had mentioned the trash rate did not get updated in the last version. We have fixed that in the
We'll be adding items that people get their mail, before we start. As soon as adding information stuff to the,
yes.
as well as do we need to explain the increase in here as part of the food?
Let them know why.
Yeah, we can do that for two reads too.
Yeah.
I was thinking, we're getting-
That's what I'm saying. That's what.
That's what you want.
I was just passing it on. Yep. And I know that everybody has personal feelings about a full forensic audit versus, the targeted audit. We have named with First Citizens. It was a discussion that was had, but never implemented. And so if that helps you decide if you want a full forensic audit or not, I just wanted to provide that information to you. We are in steps of getting fraud protection added to our accounts, but as a we're gonna talk to Rob about that on Friday.
For me, move standard audit. You think it's a forensic.
Yep.
Have it done before the end of the next fiscal year, use the forensic in place of standard.
Right.
So, um,
That's Yep, that's how we asked Rob this on Friday.
Expected to be found.
We don't know.
There's nobody has any idea that it's there. But we're gonna spend $50,000.
We've seen a lot of things along the way, just with going through just standard accounting, writing the budget, just things that didn't make sense. That, like the fraud protection thing, that has never been on our accounts. It makes me need to see that there's nothing there, to ensure that we can be as clean and as transparent as possible as administration. I know some people have stated that we're all new here, so, well, most of us are new here, so that's our clean slate. But seeing things like I saw this week with no fraud protection, it's like every single week we see something that I'm like, makes me nervous. So we're writing those as we find them, but I don't know what came before us,
Speaking of which, did you take my name off the account?
which, you know,
The signatures.
Which account?
Because somebody was not available, I was gonna be adding for signatures.
to the bank.
You told me it was.
I'll have to ask if they got it.
Activated it, you well, hopefully I did, so. Let's take it off.
Oh, you don't want to be on there?
No, man, I mean,
There's no problem.
yeah,
I'm telling you, you don't.
so, I mean, it's, because I think it's
I'll
human
check with
hurt.
them. I'll check with them. Yeah,
That's what I'm guessing,
correct.
so.
Yeah, I'll
And I
check.
think they had me because at least somebody wasn't available.
Do that pro temp. Two cars this year upfitted, and the mini excavator was also in the latest version of the budget. Both of those are in there.
What do you think to sell?
But he's going to be selling
Some of the used equipment.
used
that you saw.
equipment to offset. Yes, correct.
What will But actually, it's set up for $20,000 on selling,
Yes,
$70,000 on buying.
yes.
So still $50,000. It'll be on full council to do the ordinance. They, I've brought it up several times, I guess, water rates, the city is raising the water rates, so we're not looking at any increase that we know of yet from, Pickens Water Authority. For me, and this is just me, and I'll stress this again, our senior citizens are looking at 2.8% increase last year. We're raising our budget by 4%, it's growing faster than they. Reason and a need. And this rate increase on our water doesn't have a plan. It doesn't have a cost. It doesn't have a need. And I cannot support raising the rates until we have to.
So the reason we had that in there, and I know we talked about it a little bit, we had actually had that suggestion from our city engineer, because of the cutover, when we moved from Pickens Water Authority to Pickens Regional Joint, the increased jump from where we are now to what they're estimating it to be was quite a large jump. So the suggestion was to slowly increase it over time, and then put aside that money. Actually, we had put it into so that jump only cut over, or do we?
For me, I'm gonna make a motion that we remove it at the budget meeting next week. If you don't, I am gonna make the motion. It may fail, but I cannot raise the rates in good conscience unless there's a need,
Yeah.
justification.
I'll just say this, I know media campaign, we've seen a lot of people, and that was the main thing that came out.
Water rates.
So I couldn't go right now just because, now, we don't know when we're gonna actually turn on with them anyways.
Right.
You know what I mean? So this.
It was a suggestion.
Yeah, it could be later on down, so I mean, I know right now, we're certain standard.
What kind of reserve?
Right. Okay.
We actually have about 90 days, which is for our efforts, because we actually have a reserve that actually meets our current policy in place. Now, don't get me wrong, it's not as healthy as I'd love to see it. I'd love to have a 10-year reserve laying there, but I can't.
Over more money.
Yes.
So I do usually recommend that.
That's what we need.
Building up the reserve.
Yes.
That's what me and you differ. I didn't run to raise rates or fees or vote to raise rates or fees without a justification. Cost.
I'm not disagreeing with that. What I'm saying is your lines will fail at some point.
It will.
We know that. And I'm gonna say it's as delicate as I can. This extra 52 cents per 2,000 gallons. Might replace the line from here to end. But if we have a failure, it's not gonna be what we need.
But
It would be
you want to go with.
And I'm trying to say, and I think we need to build in a capital replacement plan. We can't do that. We know what we have, know what the problem is, what the total last cost is. That's where we need to start. We should have already done this 4 months ago, 6 months in. We should have sit down and started evaluating. I got faith in this man right over here. He's actually going to bring us online, get us a long-term plan. I told the mayor the other day, we're early in, but this time next year, we need to be talking about the budget. What is our cost? What do we need for the next 25 to 50 years? So we give the police department long-term. Yeah. This year, a long-term solution. This is a
Right.
short-term.
And we're fixing a lot of previous administration issues this year.
And that's what I'm at. The water increase is not a long-term solution. It's a short-term big.
The only downside to that is we're paying I'm trying to remember two something. And right now estimates triple that when we cut over. So
And for
That's
me,
the
I
only-
can sell
That's the
this
only
because we
other
didn't
side.
have anything to do with it. I can sell while we are on class and but the most cost effective. If it is the most cost effective, I can sell that. But I can't sell the public on, I'm gonna start collecting it today. Don't really have a need for it, or don't really have a use for it, I'm gonna collect it today from you. Just so you don't feel as bad in the future, when I have to collect it.
And they still haven't really had these legit time for me when they're.
The loan application, actually, the permits are in place. The same permit, the loan application is actually submitted to USDA, from my understanding. This week. So there's still.
I think for,
That's still.
It's a long ways out.
It's a good one about.
so you're saying in 2028 though, we're gonna go from where we are now. We're gonna go through.
We gotta do that. We gotta start
So
doing that.
is that sold to somewhere else? I mean, because we literally were so many people really told us like, you don't lower the water rate. No, we're gonna actually make it go up. So it's like, we told them like, me, you should sit right here. Me, you told them like, we're not gonna go.
We're working on it.
Yeah, we're kind of working on it, see it. So last thing I'm gonna see is us turn around and actually go through, so we kind of told them.
That's fair, but I'm just saying like, when we do and
I mean,
whenever
that's
that's
something we're gonna have to bend it in, you know, you just gotta say, look, it's what's left to us and we'll have to do it. I mean. I would
none of us here, I think two of you, I feel like one of you, because I know you were accused, signed the agreement. Like we were in agreement for the Pickens Regional.
Yeah, because I think it's a smart move.
Kel actually had a great idea. I don't know if you remember this or not. We first started talking about the water. She mentioned, let's do some town halls and stuff. Let's explain to people. You start looking at the cost, and actually, I think I shared this with you. I looked at the cost. And our residents are going to pay more per day. If you look at the trajectory over the next 50 years, at year 8, where we are today with the current system and the system we're going to, we're going to cross. At that point in time, our future cost will flatten. We say we were ready to continue to increase. Where it really starts to benefit is our kids and our grandkids. This is not a plan. It's going really, we will see the tangible fruits of it. This is where our kids and our grandkids are ready. That's what we got to have these community meetings, like she said. Let's explain the whole program. Let's talk to people. Let's see what we have to say. Tell them where we are. Well, hey, we're talking about raising rates today, just to make them feel better about a rate increase in water. You know,
So but don't we? Doesn't the price of that water go down over volume? So if the volume were to increase,
and that's where, you know, if it stays, stay at 8 years when it starts to raise.
we sell water to people outside the city. And if they increase their usage by triple, then we see the benefit as a city.
We do.
Because they're going to use that increased volume. We buy that volume from Pickens Joint, that higher volume at a lower price per gallon.
Correct.
Right? And so we have some things that are probably working right now that'll lead to our benefit. That if these companies are doing something, their usage could increase dramatically. That dramatic usage could be as much as we use today.
You have to
So
remember too, so just the projections right now.
I'm,
It's a hope.
Yeah, all of that.
Right.
One of our days, that objection.
And we hope Spring Water don't raise their rates, but I'm pretty sure they will. So, I mean, we can sit all day and hope.
Yeah, sometimes we had that, I walked with him, he said they'd probably go up, they've already went up twice.
Yeah.
In the last. We
So you all are not interested in raising 52 cents?
For 2,000.
For 2,000, yeah.
For
Yes. So
April, that.
is that what I'm hearing, that we need to adjust the budget? Nobody wants to go up on water this year
I don't.
and wait.
Probably. And our lawyers having does pay the money to specifically rather than just increase.
I got one more minute. I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry. I just putting stuff away there. I know we're raising our brush collection rates as well. Brush / bulk items by 50 cents per meter per month. Correct. And you told me that money was gonna go to maintenance.
Maintenance,
For the
yep.
Where is it located at the budget? Because our maintenance only up about $300 budget. If I look at the right version, version I have, the latest one on the agreement. I don't have a problem with it if you make, so I want to make sure our function must be put in the right place, if that makes sense.
I might have to get back to you on that.
I did know.
I was gonna say, to be honest with you, better have to reach out to Green City. Yes.
And I said, it could be, you know, I always look, I always trust and always verify. And I call Troy, and Troy did tell me he had raising rates. But I always, you know, take whatever information I get, and call whoever it is, and say, tell them what this is. That's how I do brief water, I can, it's water based on our water rates, so I call them, and say, tell me where we are.
Yep, we'll check on that. Bree, I've got notes here for our meeting with them on Thursday. Did you have a question?
Fire department,
Oh, go ahead. I thought-
Fire department utilities are we get those from the budget? We should not pay for the fire department utilities out of city budget, because we pay a county fire fee to the county bar.
I think we're maintaining the building if it's already.
Well, actually, I was the administrator in agreement with Sun, and there was no agreement on building maintenance. The utilities were supposed to be transferred over immediately to the county, just like they do us with.
Right, but we owned that building, so they never.
No, the building, that, the building, yeah, the building, from what I understand, we're still paying the utilities for the fire department to be housed in that building. We should not pay for utilities.
No.
Fire department.
That's just like me renting a house and who I rent it from is paying my bills for me.
That's what we've been doing.
Just because we do it, don't mean for us.
I don't think utilities for them. We only had, I believe it was $500 budgeted in this current budget
That was for maintenance.
for maintenance, but I don't believe we're paying for their utilities.
If I'm not mistaken, check that. I'll get the meter number tomorrow. Let's check the meter number and make sure that we're done.
Okay, and for Duke and.
Well, the paper is paying things that like if something broke, we got to fix it.
Based on what Bailey had told us back in the first of the year, we were paying. Do I know that for sure?
We'll check that.
Yeah.
We'll see what we paid.
If you can give me a meter
Yeah,
number.
I'll get it. And we're probably paying the water bill too, we're giving them water, but we need to be charging for services because they're not doing us any good.
I have a question for you. What is what is the threshold for council to have to vote on us buying stuff from the city?
Based on current policy, anything over $2,500 requires council approval based on the city's.
Why didn't we?
It was it was already pre-budgeted from a previous council.
I'm gonna call for point order against where it can go. Even if it's, go down the road, let's go down the road and say it was pre-approved in the budget by the previous council. City has a procurement policy. Let me read it to you real quick. I can pull it up, give you just a moment. It's a good question.
On this, we reached out to our attorney, to discuss this before we purchased the vehicle. And we met with her to ensure that we were okay to go ahead and purchase the vehicle since it was pre-budgeted funds from a previous council
Okay, can I read you this statement?
that fit into the correct line items.
Okay, procedure for purchasing, for procurement of goods and services equal to or exceeding $2,500. Council shall consider and either approve or deny the procurement of goods and services, the cost of which exceeds $2,500. Prior to council consideration, the following measures must be taken, except as provided elsewhere in the policy. Procurement of goods and services equal to or exceeding $2,500 is to be determined by one of the following three methods: invitation for bids. And that's when you actually go out for a formal bid. So there's 32 more. One is request proposals. And sole source and purchase, only three methods we have. But the policy is very clear that if it's a purchase of an item over 25, and I'm not saying it's the right number. Me, you talk about this. I'm not saying it's the right number. We got a policy in place. There's no excuse for us not following the policy. We either need to amend the policy or we need to follow it. So we don't need to violate the policy. And this is,
Purchased from.
it was purchased through the state contract, which is all
Last year's
good.
state
The
contract.
only issue we have here is it not coming back before council based on policy. The purchase, state contract is the bid. The bids, I'll defend you 250% all day long. If you went to state contract, they bid it out, they would do this process. And I seen that on what you said. I can't defend it didn't come from council. Now, do I think the number's a little low? Absolutely. But the policy's there.
if we don't follow our own policy, how do we expect anybody else in the city?
And that's why we reached out to our city attorney to discuss this prior to the meeting.
Well, I just got this to say, the only thing that the reason I asked that is because I'm buying some trucks every day. So as being on your council, when we ran together, you literally told me that I will use every single one of you for things that you do. So I just feel like I have all the expertise that comes with that. I could have told you if it was a good deal or bad deal and so forth. And I found the exact same truck, a fully loaded one, full four-door for a lot less money. So all I'm saying is going forward, I'd like to be used. I'm here to help you. So I just felt like it was kind of a slap in the face because instead of coming and using the people that are here trying to help you, it was we went around and said, well, we don't have to use council. Do this because we voted on before. That's just where I feel. And that's just why I wanted to bring that up to you.
That's fair. So I didn't involve you in this because, or anyone outside of administrative staff and our city attorney, because unfortunately, reaching out to a council member about a purchase like that, I don't know, the optics felt a little weird. I don't know, we were just trying to avoid any sort of conflict of interest or anything based on what you do for a job. I didn't want that to be called into question down the road. That was the reasoning. It wasn't to exclude you from anything like that. It was because I didn't want there to be any sort of eyes looking at it later and saying, oh, you've been a council member that clearly runs, on the sales.
I mean, I can review anything. I can tell you what I think, you don't have to buy it from me, but I can at least review it and tell you what I think. That was the only thing I didn't even. It's what it is. It's just.
It wasn't on purpose. It was just outside eyes saying that was a weird situation. Why did you use a council member to fix your truck? You know what I mean?
And I understand that. Everyone here has a special thing that they bring to the table. And all I'm saying is I feel like for the last 6 months that several of us are not being used to our fullest. So what I'm feeling is, what am I here for? If you're not using me the way that I feel like you should use me, if you're not willing to use me, then I don't know if I should be here.
So then there's also, I don't think that the truck is the only thing that was over $2,500. So we have a set of tennis courts.
That we put out for bid.
Also an issue that hasn't been brought to the council. So that's another amount of money that's being spent.
The same argument was used in that case as well.
I don't understand. So that's the part that doesn't make sense is that the policy is.
And that's all I said, I don't think anybody did anything intentionally. Let me start by saying this was unintentional.
This was.
What I would recommend, I told you this today, for me, I would recommend coming back and saying, hey, these are the things that we're all new, we stumbled, we made some purchases that technically we should have come here to get approval first. Let's clean those things up, let's move forward and go forward. Let's fix the policy the way it needs to be. Mary said actually, when the policy was put in place, she thinks that she actually recommended 5,000 for actually come back to council. But I think the council.
That sounds,
Reduced it. Two things I'll point out. We did have a discussion with the mayor and, I remember it was in the budget. It was voted on by council before.
Right.
Was
correct.
The
It's
not the specific.
But the funding for it.
Right, funding for maintenance.
So let me finish, please.
Okay, yes,
Okay, and my second point was something that Gerald alluded to that y'all may not be familiar with, is that if an item has gone through the state bidding process, then you don't have to run it through another bidding process. Because municipalities all buy some of the same things, the state buys some of the same things, and it just cuts costs in terms of doing that. So that's what he meant when he said states.
yeah, yeah.
So that's all.
Yeah, no, actually, that's perfect. Actually, it saves Katie work, is what it does. That's a great thing. My only beef with everything, and it's not even a beef, one thing is, if we got a policy, we need to follow it or remove it.
But there's a third thing. Okay, so it's the wall downtown. That also is over $2,500. So,
All three of those instances, the same rationale was used.
and are we sure we even know how much all three of those items were? So one you sent in was the truck.
The truck, you all got the truck.
But we don't have the information on the wall, and we don't have the information on the
The tennis courts, is actually sort of, in flex right now. There was a certification for one of the vendors, so it's still being worked out. So nothing has been paid out to them currently.
But the wall,
The wall, we had a, previous quote, about a week ago, I think. There was an adjustment that needed to be made to it. Provide that to you guys tomorrow, if you'd like.
yeah, so,
Sure.
I mean, we were told in a meeting, it was like $7,800. Is that about, something about that number?
Yeah.
So now it's
It's
more than
gone,
that.
it's gone up a little bit because of when they went in to start the project, we ended up needing to make that space between the two walls a bit bigger. Yeah, so there was a little bit of an increase in cost. And we can provide that to you.
And we're planning on having steps at the
There
backside.
will be steps, so there will be a walkway behind the new wall. There's a water ceiling on the inside of the new retention wall. There will also be ceiling done on the brick wall of the building, so there'll be a dual layer of water protection against that building. There will be a walkway that goes behind the flower bed and then steps up to the sidewalk and then just to the gazebo.
So are we gonna shore up the platform up there that has nothing underneath it? Because if you look at the corner of it, there's concrete with no substrate below.
Yes, that's, they're,
That could be-
yeah, they're gonna be filling that, correct?
With-
Concrete.
They're gonna pour the concrete to make the steps. So currently where we are with that project is they're working on it on our way over
They
to
were.
Rosewood today. But they are doing a sidewalk and unfortunately they have to come back to do the steps. There won't be any additional cost. But, the gas meter right there with Fort Hill, it's in the way.
It's about
So they
10 feet off.
They can't pour that concrete until that gets moved.
Yep.
So we've been in touch with Spot Chastain and Fort Hill, and they are working on a plan to figure out how and when they can move it. Should be 2 weeks to 4 weeks, it just depends on.
Wait for anything. I mean, somebody that's a half of a contractor would have figured out that that meter was in the way of steps.
Well, that wasn't the original plan wasn't to build the steps, that wall wasn't in the original plan. So whenever they did that wall, that was whenever the process started with get in touch with Fort Hill, get in touch with Spot Chastain, and then.
This is why also, so the original plan didn't have it. Then we got, then we get steps. Maybe that's why we have a procurement policy that says that they need to come back to the council for a state review.
To go up to the sidewalk.
People from the public,
People, yeah,
are those ADA compliant?
they would be, correct.
Yeah.
There's a ramp on
Right.
the side, there's a ramp on the side, and then stairs.
Another administration, so to her defense, the wall was discussed, but it was gonna be a retaining wall.
Right.
But when they decided not to do the retaining wall, they found out it was cheaper to do the concrete wall. A solid concrete wall. Which is the reason why they went with.
Actually, the intent of the original council, when they were talking about that whole thing, was to level that whole thing and not have the potential. So.
I can't even think about how expensive that would be. To take out all that stuff.
Has the building leaked anymore since the?
I went in there the first day that they started and they moved everything back and it was pouring rain and there was not, I was like, don't bother me, I'm just gonna go look at your wall. And I touched the wall and there was no water, zero.
Now, we,
And they're not
the
even.
waterproof their building wall too?
The waterproofing of the brick wall and then waterproofing on the inside of the retaining wall, so you'll see a dual layer.
I
Yeah,
see the inside, you see
the other day. Yeah, it's a dual layer.
I'm just curious.
Yeah.
I do have one other question.
Sure.
Mentioned this now, it's kind of triggered something in my head. You said we hadn't paid anything on the tennis courts.
On who?
On the tennis courts yet?
Not yet. It's
Well,
for-
we called for $20,800 for, at the time of signing, if we paid that.
We haven't,
We put a stop order on the check.
yep.
Okay, so we
Yeah,
paid,
no,
it, we got to stop.
It hadn't even left.
Did we pay it or did we put a stop order?
It was put through to Green Penny, but before they cut the check, it
Gotcha.
just stopped.
Okay, that,
I made that call first thing.
I was gonna say, so no state business license. It's a reason to reject.
Correct. We good? I got
I'm
it
proud.
on. I think we're good. We'll go ahead and- Yeah, it's 9:12. We'll go ahead and close this out. Sorry, I know it feels weird not to gavel out, just the words.
You could vote or anything.
No, I didn't make anything. These will all be updated on the next version.
Thank you.